Okay, so this is going to be a breakdown of some of the development of my latest game that I'm working on. And I'm going to try and it's going to be a fairly long video, so if you're not into that, you're probably not going to like this. I'm not an exciting presenter. I don't really enjoy doing it. So anyway, I've got a little list over here, so I'm going to go through the different things. This is the obviously the main menu map. So if we play from here, some little bullshit animations or whatever. Start the game up. If you're familiar with the original game, the game that this was inspired by, then you'll notice a lot of similarities. I took some liberties with different things. Like instead of throwing tomatoes, I made a tomato gun. Seems more fun. Not to mention the fact that I haven't created a throwing system just yet. But for the most part, this is a showcase of the core systems and how they work. I'll probably show some blueprints at some point after showing all of this stuff for those who are interested in it. I don't expect a lot of people to be interested in this type of stuff. But anyway, so the game, if you have to be familiar with the original game, or else it's going to really make much sense to you. So I'm not going to belabor those points about, oh, this is the same as the thing in the game, whatever. You'll recognize that if you're familiar with the game. If you're not, then just think of this as like a top-down, arcadey type shooter with. It's going to have a lot of interesting horror, classic horror. Like the kitty type, not like Freddy and stuff like that, but like werewolf. What's it called? Frankenstein, Merman, all of that stuff. It's kitty, it's cute, it's family safe, whatever you want to call it. And it's funny, it's dopey, and I like it. It's campy. Right? So anyway, it was a game that I enjoyed a lot when I was younger. So I figured it would be somewhat easy to remake it, and as far as game development goes, if you understand game development, yeah, a year of development, and I'm not talking about like some part time. I'm retired, so I have plenty of time to develop these things, and and I know what I'm doing too. It's I'm not, this is my first rodeo, first game, not my first rodeo. But anyway, point is, the mechanics are pretty much there. We got doors, we got AI, very basic AI. You can't go past that point. You saw when I first. So if I go, matter of fact, it's not from there. Let's do it from there. Another thing I have to do is clean up this folder structure. I got a lot of different things that I'm using, like my own other assets that I'm testing out for the characters. Anyway, so go to the maps. And if we go to, what was I trying to show off? Yeah, that, okay. How to get rid of the drawer. I never use it. Whatever. Okay, so as you can see, the nav mesh is only around there, and it splits up there. So I could just get away from them by moving away. And again, if you're familiar with the Unreal Marketplace assets, these were easy to integrate. Look good too. I like it. I'm going to color them at some point. But anyway, so let me just show off the actual game. So this is a level 0, so it doesn't have an intro. Pause menu that works. Okay, resume. Go back to the main menu. Also, keep in mind everything that I did here is as optimal as my skill set allows. Like I've optimized things Not with profiling, but like regular optimization techniques. There's hardly any dependencies. There's no circular dependencies. None of that. Just bad practices. Everything's using fast techniques. No C++. I didn't think it was necessary for this. And I'm trying to develop some blueprint systems. For instance, like I said, like the weapon system that I built into this. I was trying to develop an item system similar, but I tailor-made it to this. So if I ever turn it into a product, as you can see, there's these med kits and these things. There's actually other items. That's all these people here. These are the neighbors that you have to save. So as you can see, what I saved is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And there's 10. That's the default. That's how it was in the original game. But you can actually, the way I built the system, you can actually change the number, and the map will auto-generate them. And if you place them on the map as the map designer, when you place them on the map, if it goes above 10, it will cut it off at 10, and it'll actually, it uses pooling. These guys don't actually get deleted until they get killed. So they get hidden and activated. The AI gets activated. The tick gets activated only based on the number that was set. I think it's in the game mode, right? And so that sets how many. So if I set it to 11, it would spawn, and I had 10 placed in the map, it would spawn 1. If I set it to 12, it would spawn 2. And if I set it to below and it had 10 on the map, it would take 1 away. So it's set up like that. But again, that's tailor made. I was talking about the item system when I transitioned into that. So the item system handles keys. So regular keys like this, as you see, you collect it, and, the number goes up, right? And skeleton keys. So again, just like the game. So now we have 2 of each key. Now, if we come over to this door over here, it's a regular door. Also, the zombies probably gonna come after us. Let me kill them. I think that's satisfying. If anybody else doesn't think that the tomato is satisfying, let me know. I'll try and improve it. I think it's awesome. Well, whatever. Anyway, so the door, I go to it, it opens instantly. I haven't done any, tweaking of this. Again, this is all prototype stuff that is just now feature complete. So anyway, the UI is fully functional, and it's not using any bindings. Anybody who uses bindings in their UI, please stop. No, it's using event dispatches. So anyway, so every time I grab one of these people, there's a system behind whether or not I grabbed them or they were killed somehow. I can actually kill them. That's only for debug purposes. So I'm not going to. You can see on the upper left, the health goes down because they don't really have like a health bar. It's not like one of these nowadays games where you see damage pop up and health bars and all this distraction and fluff and fuckery. I'm not doing none of that. But anyway, so if I grab all of these people, or even if a bad guy kills one of them, but I grabbed at least one, if a bad guy kills all of them, it'll give me a game over. Or if they all die, it'll give me a game over. The AI isn't ready to go attacking them yet. It only goes after me, but because it's crap. It's like rudimentary AI. I really hate AI. I save that for last. That and animating, obviously, and doing the characters and the art stuff. I save some of the things I hate for last, as well as some of the things that I love, like making the maps and traps and weird things like that. Doing the weapons, right? Like I actually have more weapons than just these 2. So with the squirt gun, and we got the tomato. And of course they reload, which they didn't do that in the original game, but I figured I had a system that I built and it's on the marketplace to do this stuff, and I figured I'll just use that because it does the same rotation logic that I can add an infinite number of weapons into the game and it just handles it all itself. I don't have to worry about add this to some array or add this to a dictionary or whatever. No. So it all the systems automatically do that, and it's all component based as well. So anyway, so if I grab these people, the last of these people, we have the door shows up, and I can go through the door, and it shows the people. These are AI images I did of characters. It's not final art. Don't think it is. I mean, if you do think it's final art, so wrong with you. But as you can see, all the things were calculated just like in the original game. That's another system that's built into the game mode. It counts the neighbors, it counts the kills. Again, if you're familiar with the game, the original that this was designed based on, at the end of the game, when you beat the game, it told you how many enemies you killed, you had your points or whatever. And so this counts all of that as well. That's actually a system that I've been working on to update my original marketplace product, which is going to use this system soon. So now that I'm done with this part of that, I'm going to take a little hiatus from this while I figure out art direction, and I'm going to be working on the marketplace stuff to update it. That Fab is less of a piece of shit. Maybe it'll work, and maybe it'll I could start at marketing or whatever. But anyway, I don't want to ramble. The point is that that's pretty much the plan. And so that's how I did all of this in that way. So yeah, so you can see this guy, he'll follow me. Blasting with the tomato. And all of this stuff just goes through. And it goes through ad infinitum because I didn't actually put together all the levels. So it's just 3 levels repeating over and over and over. It's going to be for the demo, right? So my plan is make a demo with actual, like not with these, programmer assets, but like, characters and things like that. Test out some art assets, try and get feedback. And then after the demo, based on the feedback and, art, improving the art and whatnot, working on more levels, fixing the art. Hopefully I don't have to, labor on this thing another year. But like I said, I do want to take a hiatus to work on my marketplace assets or whatever. And that's what I intend to do. So, did I show the keys? No, yeah, I think I did. So, let's see, what's on my list? Weapon system. I mean, it's not really much to the weapon system right now. Those are the only 2 weapons. I'll show off more. As a matter of fact, no point in continuing through all these different levels. I'll just I'll drag it in from over here in the content laws. Let's see, I got no, that's not where it is. There we go. So if I drag it, I don't even need to do it. I was doing it in a content browser. Bugging. All right, I could just do it like this. Okay. Duplicate that, and let's just change the. How is it? Oh, well, I forgot I still have these test assets in here. But these are like from regular Unreal. They're from the actual the asset that I made it with. They don't work in this game. I forgot to get rid of them. But pick another one. So the ones that are for this particular game are the tomato gun, the squirt gun, and the ray gun. The ray gun's not done because the bullet. Again, if you've actually played the game for the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, whatever it was back in the day, the aliens had a gun, and it basically put a bubble around the people, and then the player had to get to them quick enough to save them so that they didn't die. Like I guess they suffocated after a bit, and it had nice animation. So you see, if I can shoot the neighbors with the bubble and not kill them. It does, like I said, it doesn't work for me. If I go up to it, I can get rid of the bubble on the neighbors. If I do it to the AI, let's see what even happens. I honestly don't know. So I stopped his AI. Yeah. I forgot I took care of that too. Again, like I said, there's a lot of work has been done. There's so much work so that I even actually forgot what was done. So now I can shoot the shit out of this thing and it ain't gonna do nothing. Oh wait. It didn't break the bubble, I don't think. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have. Yep, I got it. That's fun. It is a satisfying mechanic, but it's not complete, so I'm not adding it into the demo. At least if I am not able to complete it by the time I want to release the demo. So we'll see. Oh, he came back. Chase me around. I just want to keep putting him in the bubble because it's funny and it's embarrassing for him. Take that. There you go. You're in a bubble. Anyway, so yeah, so that's how the weapon system works. So let me go back to my notes. Let's see. Weapon system, the items. Oh yeah, I didn't show off the items. It's easy to show off the items. Just first thing I have to do is take damage. So, all right, so you see when I take damage, he sort of gets pushed back a bit, and also it gets invulnerability frames where, like, if you see, like, while I'm invulnerable or doing that, zapping in and out of reality, he's immune to being hit by this guy. And also, if this guy, I don't know why he lost interest, but we're not dealing with very intelligent AI. So he killed me. So there's like a little death animation. And then I respawn with invulnerability. And again, now I can start taking damage again. And I might as well let him kill me so you can see game over. It's like, oh, damn, he sent me flying. Again, these are all kinks that need to be worked out, sending me flying and all this other stuff. Like, that's not how it's supposed to work. I don't even remember why it's doing it that way. I have it all documented or whatever. I'm just not going to get into it here. That would be tedious. It's already tedious enough. And I'm sorry for anybody who's not into this stuff. If you're watching this because you're bored, my bad. Anyway, but come on, kill me, will you? Who wants something to kill them, right? Only in game development. Come on. One more. There we go. And we have game over. You can't do anything. Any button you press takes you back to the start screen. And okay, so but I didn't showcase the items. Right. So let's just take. So now, if this guy hits me and I take damage, I can just go over here and take medkit. There we go. So I used it. You had to have seen the 2 turn into a 1. Right? Another 2. Now, if I try to use it, I don't know if you hear me pressing the key, can't use it because he's got full health. So again, all the systems are there. They're smart. They were crafted properly. I know this doesn't seem like super impressive, but to a programmer or to a game designer, when you think about it, it is somewhat impressive. But yeah, it's not impressive to the average person. You look at this, wow, you're walking around and shooting. Yeah, but all these systems are completely, what's that word? Bespoke. I hate that word, but anyway, everything's made from scratch. There's hardly any dependencies other than the basic engine movement and such. But anyway, so and these things. Now, in the game, the original game, you dropped these clowns and they went and everybody attacked that instead of you. So here, I couldn't find any good proper clown things. What are they, like the kids sock 'em, bop 'em type things or whatever? I don't know. Anyway, I couldn't find any models, 3D models. I found a Pepe model. And since everybody hates Pepe, I figured that that'd be interesting. Might even piss a few people off. I really don't give a fuck. But anyway, he's supposed to bounce around when you hit him. Like, watch, if I come over here and I shoot it, he bounces around a bit, physics-based. But the enemies aren't doing damage by physically hitting it. It's just an on overlap. So, again, another thing needs to be worked on. Most of the stuff is just here for testing. What else? What other items? So again, I can just grab one of these items. Similar systems, not using the same exact system as the weapons. So it's wholly different. So we have, that's world pickup. That's again from that weapon system. And then there's world item. So if I just duplicate this is using data assets, whereas this system is using a data table. Now, why am I doing that? Well, for one, to test different systems and see how they work. Again, remember, I'm prototyping here a game, but at the same time, prototyping potential products for the Unreal Marketplace. Right? That's how I do these things. I'm trying to sell two birds in one stone, and again, it would be a lot better if I focused on marketing, but that's my problem. Nothing to worry about. So anyway, so back to this. Here we go. So I can change this to any of the other items. Now I have all the items made. So we have that one up, the decoy, first aid kit, a ghost potion that turns into a ghost, the regular key, which is this key right here. Monster potion turns into a monster. Mystery potion does a few different things. Pandora's box item. As a matter of fact, that's a good item. The secret bonus, the skeleton key, speed shoes. And that's pretty much all the things that were in the actual game, if I remember correctly. I don't plan on adding anything to the item system. I don't see any reason for it. I'm not going to get into that. But let's add some speed shoes and let's see. Because all of this stuff works. It's not... some of it will be, excluded from the demo, but it's not that they don't work. It's just that they need polish. So we did the keys. I don't have to show the keys. We've done this. I think we did the secret bonus. I'm pretty sure. Pandora's box. Interesting. And what else? Let's see. Street potion. Monster potion. Now, again, those are the only things that aren't done. The monster, the mystery, and the where is it? The ghost potions. Those aren't done. Because those require model changes, the player model changes. And since I don't even have the model yet that I want to use for the player, I have some that I'm testing, and I don't have a monster that they turn into to use, or, the ghost thing could be done with just materials, but I, again, need the player character first, because those would be the materials I have to mess around with to give it that ghost effect. But anyway, but the functionality otherwise is there, like being invulnerable and doing damage and so on. Let's see what the keys. First aid, we did that. Decoys, we did that. And one up, it's a one up. I could showcase it. Again, it doesn't have an icon yet, so it's got the same icon as the bonus. But anyway, so let's run this. And so, just get these guys out of the way real quick. Get all the items, might as well. Okay, so you saw his lives went from 3 to 4. Okay, so we cycle through the items. The keys aren't intuitive right now. They're just set up for me to test. I'm actually going to be testing with a controller this week. But, so let's cycle through these. Now, you've already seen the Pepe dropper It's just if you press the button, and boom, it just drops it in back a little bit. Always in back. Again, that had to be a system that had to be put together. You don't just like spawn it random. It has to spawn an exact space behind them in the air so that it drops properly and it doesn't fall on its face, and it doesn't impede him. Like if he tries to drop it and there's like a wall or something like that, it won't spawn. Like if I keep pressing spawn, it's not doing it because there's something in the way. So all of that has to be thought of. So again, like I said, it's not. It's like, oh wow, so you're creating a little. No, this is really crazy stuff. But anyway, health kit you've seen. Okay, so now this thing in the original game, it's an item. You use it, it kills all the enemies on the screen. So since there's only one enemy here, let's see. So I can let him stand there, and let's see. And so it all went to him because he was the only enemy on the screen. But that's I'll put more enemies on the screen. And, oh yeah, these guys are it's like fireworks. I wonder what if can I bump them? No, I don't think I can bump them. No. They're too short. And I don't even think I could. I wonder what would happen if I bubbled it while about to explode. It's on a timer. Oh damn. Anyway, what other items are there? Well, that's interesting. When I use that item, it should have went to the next item in the thing. So look at that. I found a bug. When I use that Pandora box, when I use this Pandora box thing, it should have let's see if I use the sneakers. Now the sneakers, they make you run faster, so there we go. See now look, when I use the sneakers, it moved to the Pandora thing. If I use the Pandora thing, it just goes to nothing. Interesting. Well, we don't have any. So I'll test that off this video. It's my own problem. But, just showcasing how the stuff works. Oh, we didn't even get him? Take that. There we go. There's jumping, because I haven't finished the animation blueprint and all of that. But I don't know if I'm going to involve that in the final game. I'm not sure. But it wasn't in the original that this is a quote homage to whatever. Okay, so to showcase some of the actual things. So start with this level intro thing. Very simple actor. And it's got in the editor, the default editor billboard. If I come over here and I click enable, replace this. That's this fucking game, man. Level 0, so let me test map. Now this is not in the typical rotation. Again, this map is always going to stay like this, right? Level 1, 2, and 3, and the bonus level are going to have. They're going to be actual levels with geometry and such, whatever, right? So this actor allows me to type in what I want the intro to be, and if I can, whether or not I want the intro to play when the map starts. It gives us a little time to load in and whatnot, or whatever. It's another optimization trick, right? I wouldn't call it an optimization. It's a fucking trick, but why not, right? I have not built this out for a demo yet. I've been getting successful builds. Again, because I have a lot of fragmented stuff, as you can see in the content. And a lot of it's not even used. It's probably not even indexed properly. The whole file structure system for the Unreal Engine is messed up. And in this version 5.6, unfortunately, when I tried to delete a lot of this useless stuff that I'm not using, it didn't it basically crashed. So I didn't even want to update to 5.6. This was originally a 5.4 project, but I updated to 5.6 for the simple fact that it has map dictionary loops, and I was in the midst of writing a C++ version to allow myself to do that, and of course I was having difficulties because it's I don't know if it's core engine function that I had to dig into, but it's in there, and it was a pain in the ass, and so I was having problems with that, and I looked and I was researching it, and I saw 5.6. That's it. I'm like, oh, what am I doing? Why am I wasting 3 weeks on this, right? And so I stopped doing that, and I just updated. And lo and behold, the solution that I found did not involve looping through a map. But 5.6 also has serialization of maps. So, and when I say map, I'm not talking about these levels. I'm talking about map dictionaries. I'll show that right now. So, let's use the item handler as an example. The item handler is a component that you put on your character that allows you to interact with these here items in the world. Not the weapons, the items. So there's a specific weapon component for the weapons. I'll show that in a bit. If anybody is, like a subscriber or they're familiar with the channel or my work, they'll know that there's actually a video on the weapon component itself. It's a product. Like I said, I tailor-made it and actually did some updates to it in this project. So again, I have 3 products on the marketplace. One of them is this weapon thing. Another is a space thing that, for some reason, is unpopular. I don't know why people don't like space. I think space is awesome, but the world's full of flat earthers. I don't know. Anyway, and the other product is an arcade system that sort of handles the points. Not in the background of this game. This has its own, but there's features from this one that I'm going to end up adding to that one. And so the weapon system, I added features here to this weapon system that's different that I'm now going to add to the other weapon system. They're actually on the future updates list for that anyway. But anyway, where was I going with that? I don't even remember. It doesn't matter. So the point is that that's how I develop these things. Is in mind for the product and the thing as well. So I was showing off how this works. So the items, like I said, I was going to turn this into a product, but the items on the map, they on the level. Let me call it a level 7 map, so don't get confused. So these are all the different functions. They all have different categories. So we'll go to inventory. Well, actually, we'll look at the variables first. So we have the items and we have the keys. They're 2 separate things because keys need only be an integer. Like why? So whenever you collect the key, it's not going into the items, right? Like this will go into an items map. This goes into an items map. This goes into this. They all go into the same items map. But this life right here, where you get an extra life, and the keys, they don't do that. They have their own custom logic, and this is the reason why I can't really offer it as a marketplace product because of the way I've built it out. So I'll show. So you have the contents, the items array, and then the keys are separate. So we have keys and items, 2 totally different categories. The contents of the items, it's not an array, it's a map or a dictionary. So there's keys and then there's values. And unlike an array, because an array can be like almost infinite, so you go from 0 to whatever. And if you there's certain index rules. I'm not going to get into a lesson on arrays versus maps, but maps are just a different thing. So when I say map, I usually say map dictionary to delineate the difference between that and this being a level map. So it's confusing nomenclature, but whatever. So since these are map based, map dictionary based, then I also convert it to an array for, I don't even remember the purposes, but trust me, bro, it's necessary, right? I think it's for the revolving logic. So let me see. Is this it? Yeah, see that this is not exactly great programming here. I slapped this together. I'm not proud of this. But this has to be done. And again, this is another reason why it's not a marketplace thing, because differentiating between these different items and how they use it's just based on the way I designed the system. It wasn't practical to make something that would be more open ended to do these specific tasks that have to be done. So I was just like, I'm not going to do it that way. Because again, the shoes and the first aid kit is something that you use. It affects the character. The decoy is something you spawn. It affects the world. The speed has to. You have to see if you're moving fast. Certain things you're not able to use that, so you can't use any of the potions while you're moving fast. Also, if you're in any of these, you cannot use the weapons, but that's handled somewhere else. But anyway, so yeah, that's an annoying macro I have to make, but whatever. Where is it? It's around here somewhere. Inventory management, cycle items. So cycling the items is using a math expression, little trick that you learn, using modulo to always revolve back around to the last index. So the size will determine the last index and the index that you're currently on. Again, if you're like a math whiz, this kind of crap, hooray for you. You'll understand it. I still really don't fully understand it. I just, was able to do it. I'm not a big mathematician, but, when you learn something and you learn it well, you can able to repeat it. Anyway, so the cycling of the items happens the same. It's the same on the weapon as well. So in order, so as you can see, it's the array that we're cycling to. So it's a bit convoluted, but it also makes it so that we don't have to be dependent on looping through the map, which again wasn't a functionality available at the time. I'm not going to go back and refactor it for that. Again, there's no purpose. Again, all of these systems run relatively fast. The hardware that I'm working with, this is a laptop right here, so it's not. I think it's what it was like a 4070 laptop. It's running a 47, so it's nothing super impressive. Maybe one generation old AMD laptop processor. Anyway, and it runs good. Let's see. We'll see, right? Let's just run this. If I X out of it here, it'll crash. I already know that. I should turn this off. It doesn't matter at this point. Okay. Okay, so now I'm recording, and I got this running in the editor, in its own window. So the editor's running, and it's staying at 60 frames on my laptop hardware. And I don't have any optimization technology on that AMD stuff and all that, none of that. Right, so you see actual interaction artificial intelligence, choices, all of that. Not that they're complex. It's not really doing anything to the frames. Effects, little stuttering shader problems, none of that crap. That's not going to be happening here. Even in something like when I have this item, which is a relatively, I think it spawns like 16 or 8 or something like that projectiles that are tracking, right? Even that. I didn't see a drop in FPS. Something, right? I hope so. And then going to this. You're still in the map. This just has everything paused. Right? So again, the frames are pretty solid. Not that this is some graphics, graphics powerhouse game or using all kinds of crazy effects, but my point is that the systems are efficient. And if you have efficient systems to start out, then other optimization in the future is going to be a lot easier. So we'd have a lot of different ways to add to the inventory, stuff like that. I wasn't planning on belaboring all of the points of inventory systems and things like that, but just giving an overview of how things. Trust me, this is necessary to cast AI. Again, the AI stuff is what's getting done last. You see, I showed a character. Let's say, play a character. Zombie player. There we go. So, not a lot going on the event graph. In fact, the controls are probably going to get moved to their own graph at some point. I got some debug stuff. So the ghost potion, that event is there. We'll just this is not completed. Monster. All that's going to do is just turn you into a monster and make you invulnerable. So it's functionality. Same thing with this. It takes away the player's ability to move around. It's just going to apply this crap. Just to say hi to the player for a few seconds. It's like 30 seconds, something like that. Just the ghost. Everything is so. This is the weapons thing. I'll showcase that. Everything is event driven. So there are events on the components. So if you look on the character, so here's the character. Nothing on the construction script. It has a parent character, and then there's a parent of that. Because some sharing functionality between the neighbors, the enemies, and the player character, there's a hierarchy. But I'm also doing functional programming as well. I have a lot of functions. It's not all hierarchical based. But anyway, so yeah, and using components, some component based programming as well. Very important because I just love being able to pop a component out of a project and pop it into another project and rapidly prototype and things like that. If you understand the value of things like that, you'll appreciate these types of systems. This here is the loading and saving between levels. Not the loading and saving to disk. That's not complete yet. But again, you see all events. We were setting the things. We're using timers. There's almost nothing outside of native things on tick. Like there's no tick here. So if we do like a search for tick, don't search for that. See, no results found. We're not doing that at all on any of these things. Not on the the item components. Tick by default, but there's no tick. There's see. There's no tick being used here. And just basic, good, healthy practices for things. Let's see, recycling. It's using the enhanced input system. Like I said, so I'm going to be doing a controller stuff soon. Most of the real detailed, hard systems work. Oh, that's another thing I could show. The game mode, right? Lot of calculation. Like this is the system for processing the map neighbors. So we're counting them, and then based on the count, we're checking to see if the neighbors on the map is equal to the dynamic max. Now, why is it a dynamic max and not a set max? Well, the set max, I think at the start of the entire game, the concrete max sets the dynamic max. Let's see. If I look at it. Oh, no, it's on the game instance. So these things are difficult. Right? So you have one on this and one on that. All right, so the game instance starts before most other things, right? And so we're setting the dynamic max neighbors to 10. That's the default. I could set that to 11, 12, again. So let's just do that. Let's set it to 20. Right? Watch. Just this one change. Set that to 20. Now watch what happens. I fuck things up. I don't look like an idiot, but let's see. I forgot to turn this off. Yeah, see. So now there's like 20 of them. And I'm going to have to pick up all 20 of them in order to, oh shit, you know what? I don't even know if the counting system accounts for 20. The system that runs this, yeah, it does, but the end of level, let's see what happens. This is a world exclusive. We're finding out together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, it's just counting off. Yeah, it wasn't designed to go past 10 on the counting. I totally overlooked that, but still counts to all victims bonus. That's hilarious. So yeah, everything works mathematically, but to showcase it on the widget. Oh yeah, see, access none for the because I can show why. It's simple. So this is the widget. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes to show the neighbors. Again, totally mimicking how the original game worked, or shows them. And again, this is a pixelated game, so keep in mind, mine's a lot different, so I have to use these images. But so it shows the 5, then it clears them, then it shows the next 5, and then it's designed to work like that. So there's nothing really here on the event graph. When this widget is made, when it's constructed, it creates an array of 5 example slots, and then we're looping through that array. This is to clear the images, but then also we're assigning the image based on, like, this gets called externally from the HUD. Let's go to the HUD. Yeah, see, this is where it gets complex. I don't want to go through all of the way it all comes together. It's very complex. So the HUD is it's referencing the game mode, the player, and then we're creating all the different widgets. There's really only 2 widgets. There's the level end widget, and then there's the HUD widget. So the HUD widget, so we're going to have the HUD widget. So here's the HUD widget. This is hidden by default pause, obviously. I might animate it at some point. I don't know. And then here's the different elements of the HUD. Now, each one of those is its own user made. It's a HUD. I'm sorry, HUD. It's a widget, right? It's a user widget, all placed on the HUD. So we look at this. Let's say the weapons. So, WBP items. So it's the items widget. So this is then placed here. Right? So we look at this. All this has on it, or any of them really, is update mechanics. Right. So again, event driven, completely event driven. When it updates, we set the visibility, colors, and all of that. Text visibility and the text, and it's based on different checks. It's a lot of complex logic. And again, if you don't design all this on paper ahead of time, like a blueprint architect type thing, it's not gonna go smoothly. And honestly, even if you do architect it like a blueprint, it doesn't go smoothly either. Anybody that's ever architected anything, from a building to a meal plan, can tell you that nothing ever really goes according to plan. But anyway, so I mean, damn, am I right about that? It's 50 something. All right, it's 50 something minutes in. I doubt anybody's going to be this interested, but I'm making this anyway, just for the simple fact of, you know what? This is a perfect example to showcase something that's smart, right? Do this, go to that, right? So if we're in content drawer, you can't do that for content. That's annoying. All right, whatever. So we changed that to 20. We don't want that because that's silly and breaks the game. So if you do something like that, don't fucking save it. Don't be a dumbass. Reload it. See if I crash. The following packages. Yeah, I know that. So I want to reload this. So all right, good. So I'm not going to muck about with that right now. I was working on the AI. That's the current thing that I'm working on. So I'm going to focus on that. This save to disk is not going to be necessary for the demo. I'm not going to get into that, so there's no point. But yeah, I'd say this an hour long is a pretty damn good overview of what I got going on here. Maybe some people who are like interested in development might have gotten some kind of use out of this. Maybe people interested in the game might get some use out of it. Maybe people who find bad humor useful might get something out of it. I don't know. I don't think. So anyway, that's that's what I've been working on lately, and this is going to get a demo within about a month or so, and then after that demo, I'm going to update all my products, and then I'm going to continue working on this until it's finished, which, like I said, really only consists of a few different things. I'd show the Trello page and how I handle all of that. But A, I doubt there's that many people interested in that. And then B, I also got a ton of other crap on my browser that I don't feel like cleaning up before I do that. No, it's not pornography. I'm not a degenerate. But just like tab upon tab upon tab. So anyway, that's what we got going on here. And I hope that anybody was interested stay to the end. If you did, you are a god among humans. And have a great one. All right.